FX Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. And guys, today we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at all of the different trade setups that were during London and US session. There's a lot of them. So today was definitely a good trading day for the morning session. All right. So without further ado guys, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. All right guys, so we're going to go ahead and start with pound USD, and here we can see we had here's our Asian session here, and then we did have a nice move right at 645 for the first leg, came back up for the second leg at the beginning of the US session, and then we moved up. This trade right here was about 55 pips. Now something very important that I want to point out is if you look at what they did the entire first half of the London session. Look at what they did here the first half of the London session. They did nothing but move sideways, 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 sideways. Okay, they worked the contracts all through London, the first half of London. Okay, so from 3 to 6. And then we finally got the first actual leg down right at 645 or so. Second leg came up to the 50, came right back down, retested that same low, and then as soon as they had enough, they took off. Okay, so we're looking at 845 is when this happened. All right, I'm pointing this out because I want you guys to understand that not every move happens, you know, right out of the gate, or, you know, a lot of the moves lately have been happening later, 6:30, 6:45. Okay, so keep in mind, I just want you guys to look at this and keep this in mind, that you guys might get trapped into putting in a buy here if we see a W, you know. So if you see something like this, you know, and you might think that that's a W, you know. So I just want you guys to keep this in mind as you're trading this. You know, we want to let it play out and let it develop. And if you get stopped out, guys, it's okay to get stopped out. That's not a big deal. Okay, that's not a big deal. If you get stopped out here, second leg, that's okay. All right. What I don't want you guys to do is I don't want you to quit. I don't want you guys to quit on what, if you would have just kept being patient and waited, would have been a good trade. Okay. Not only that, okay, so that was one trade. Then right at 10 o'clock, we ended up getting a nice star pattern, and boom, there's another trade right back down. Okay, that was another 88 pips. Okay. So that was a very nice trade setup on, two trade setups on pound USD. All right. But yeah, be patient with it, guys. Don't jump the gun. Just be patient with it. Let them show you what they're doing. Okay. If you got in here and you got stopped out, it's okay. Really, the only trades that you should have gotten into, if you follow the same rules that I follow, you know, is maybe here, but really you're looking at the second leg. So I don't know if that would have consummated a good entry for you. This would have been the better entry right here. Okay. So don't get stressed out over it, guys. This is why I tell you guys to backtest on TradingView, because you can train your eye to see this stuff from happening. Okay, you can train your eye to see this stuff if you just do the backtesting. You know, replay the bars. That way you can see it happening in person and live. You don't have to wait, you know, every day for the bars to play. You can go back a year and replay this stuff. Okay, and do the back testing. I'm telling you, that is going to make the biggest difference in you being successful. All right. So that was 2 trades there on pound USD. Pound Swiss. Pound Swiss was gave us a bunch of stuff. So here we have the Asian range here, and right at 4:30 or so, we ended up getting a second leg M formation here, taking that down a good 45 pips. Right into that, we got into a W formation here that went right back up, and that was another 30 pips or so. After that, we ended up getting a star formation right at the 200 EMA. You take that one down again, that's 62 pips. Okay, so just in one pair you had 1, 2, 3 trade setups. All right, now here's the thing I want you guys to understand is that if you're new to this, I don't want you guys taking trades like this back to back because you're not consistent yet in getting just one trade, 1M, 1W, let alone back-to-back trades. Okay? You first have to be consistent in actually grabbing the pattern first. Once you get consistent at grabbing the pattern first, then you can actually start doing this back and forth. Okay? Again, the easiest way to do this and to get caught up on this as fast as possible, replay. Replay, replay, replay. Backtest this. I'm telling you, it works. All right? I'll leave a link in the description for TradingView if you've never done it before. I also did a video on how to backtest as well. I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video here. Okay? So that was pound Swiss. Pound JPY. Pound JPY had a nice W formation, type 2 pattern at the bottom of the Asian range here, and this one here was about 55 pips or so, depending on where you got in and out of. But again, a nice W pattern here on pound JPY. Right after that W pattern, you ended up getting railroad tracks, and boom, that set up actually another trade for you, right? That trade was 75 pips down. Okay. So again, back-to-back trades. These pairs are showing back-to-back pairs, back-to-back trades. They do this. They don't do this all the time. Okay, so I don't want you to think that this is normal, but just know that this is a behavior that we've been seeing for the last couple of months. Pound CAD. Pound CAD had a what they call a 15-minute like head and shoulders type of pattern like this here. You can see on the line chart. But yeah, it was a nice trade though on pound CAD here, and looking at about 172 pips on pound CAD alone. Okay, and this was right at 7:45, 8 o'clock. Yeah, 7:45, 8 o'clock or so. All right, so very nice trade set up there on pound CAD. Pound NZD, nice W pattern here on a type 1 setup, and this was all US session here at 8:45. Again, they spent all the time London, first half of London, collecting, convincing you to go short, coming up, collecting the contracts, and then going up. Okay. This was about 90 pips or so, depending on where you got in and out of. But another nice trade on pound NZD. On Euro CAD, you can see a nice trade setup here right at around 5 o'clock or so. Nice type 1 setup with a W pattern here. And this one, man, this one was a really nice one. 175 pips or so, depending on where you got in and out at. But again, very clear pattern, and you can look at it there on the line chart. Just a very nice and clear pattern. Okay. So very nice. Euro USD. Euro USD had a nice type 2 pattern here at the low of the Asian range, and we're also pinning to the 800 EMA. Okay, so you see this, we're touching the 800 EMA, touching it, and then we move out of there. So that trade there was about 45 pips or so, depending on where you got out at. If you got out at the first range, it would have been about 25. If you took it all the way up, then you're looking at 40 to 50 pips, depending on where you got in and out of. But it's still a good, very good trade, right at 5 o'clock in the morning, right inside that trading zone. Euro AUD, same thing. We had a W formation here right at 745 for the US session here. Again, they spent most of the time collecting contracts. There is one thing here that you could have done, and that is on this on the Euro Australian dollar here, you could have done a multi-session M. But the only problem with this is that normally on a normal multi-session M, you actually get the full move down to at least 800 EMA to make it an M. So this was not a multi, session like M that you could have caught normally, like we normally like to look at. Okay. So this is just a way to collect contracts before they make the move up here one more level. And this trade was 65 to 70 pips, depending on where you got in and out at. Okay, the successful trades, guys, are nice and easy, consistent 6 to 8 hours of consistent move in one direction. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, those are the trades that you want to be in. CAD JPY. CAD JPY had a nice type 1 setup M formation here. This happened right at 645 for the second leg, railroad tracks there. And that straight down to the 800 EMA. That's 100 pips right there, easy for you. Okay. AUD CAD. AUD CAD here had a multi-session W, and this is what I want to see from a multi-session M or W, right? So again, nice multi-session M or W right here, and this was right at 330. So you got multiple chances here between 315 to about 445. So you had a whole almost an hour to get into this trade here, and then you're looking at 80 pips or so, depending on where you got in and out of. And again, back to the 800 EMA. AUD Swiss. AUD Swiss had a nice little range here, and then ended up being a type 1 setup here, right for the US session. It did start accumulating the M formation right at around 530 or so. It had a 1 here, and then it hit it again to pin the 200 EMA, and then as soon as it pinned it, it dropped right back down. So I want you to see these. This is 35 pips, by the way. So I want you guys to see the behavior, okay, of what they're doing. All right, they're pinning these EMAs, pinning to the 800, pinning to the 50, pinning to the 200. Those are all extra things that you can use for confirmations, right, of trades. All right, so if you see an M formation and it's also pinning to a 50, pinning to a 200 or an 800, these are giving you more clues that you need more confidence to take the trade. Okay, so again, that was about 35 pips depending on where you got in and out at. All right, and then finally on AUD JPY, a nice type 1 M formation here. This also happened at close to the open of the US session, so around 8 o'clock or so. It started to form the first leg right at 6:30, 6:45, so at the end of the trading zone. And that's it. And this one here was about 30 pips or so, depending on where you got in and out at. Okay. And as you can see, this one here, they went right to the 200 and then just started pinning for the rest of the day, collecting more contracts for the weekend. Okay. This is all that they were doing here, collecting contracts for the weekend. About 13 to 14 trade setups that you could have taken, 14 pairs that you could have taken trade on. Multiple pairs had multiple setups on them. So a lot of trading opportunities that were presented today. So I hope you guys took part in some. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you took part in some of these trades, or if you found other trades on different pairs that we don't follow here. All right, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch these videos. I hope that you're learning something from these videos. It really means a lot to me to help you clarify a lot of things. So thank you for watching the videos. Please share with other traders that might be struggling. We just want to help them as much as possible. So thank you for watching the videos, guys. Guys, if you're not part of our chat room, go to fxntrading.com, sign up for the free membership, guys, and be a part of that chat room. All right. Every time that we get more traders in, we can trade the markets together, and most importantly, we can share ideas together, and we can help each other become better traders. Okay, that's the whole point. All right, guys, if you guys need any mentoring, there are a couple more spots available since I opened up 10 more spots. I believe there's like 4 more spots available. So you can go to the mentoring on fxntrading.com to sign up for that, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys, and have a good one.